backing it up is going to be so hard because Rassie, and I mean, this is what he said, this is in quotation marks, he said it was dog shit.
Yep.
That's what he called the performance. Like, it's a hell of a thing to say.
Well,
he referred to it being embarrassing. Like, that's strong. Like, there's going to be a big bite back in their camp this week.
Yeah, and I think probably what he was probably referring to is the 6 tries. Like, because if you look at their attacking stats, like first 17 minutes, amazing. But even throughout the game, like where I think Australia won it was their defence in terms of the 4 breakdown turnovers all came in the 22. The conversion rate of South Africa is at 23%. So they had 13 visits. They got their 3 tries in the first 17 minutes, but after that it was 7 turnovers, 3 penalties conceded in the 22, an area where South Africa goes in there, they come away with points. Like, these are rare instances for them. And then I suppose the intercept and then the turnover ball tries. And that's what blew my mind, is it was like the hive out was nothing to the Wallabies. Like, their fitness was just superior, and they just, maybe the adrenaline, the fact that they were, running away with the game got into them. But like Harry Wilson had put in a massive shift, then to score that try, like you watch how quick he reacts. Like he would be absolutely knackered, quick to react, then goes the distance. It was just so impressive. But like, when you look at it statistically, I still can't work out how.
I think.
Do you know what I mean? It's.
I think for me, what I saw is that in and around those stats, it's that the opportunities that they did have, they took advantage of it. So the 4 tries in that second half, you talk around the 2 click attacks with Tom Wright and then Harry Wilson's try, they nailed that and been able to execute it. And then you talk around at the intercept as well. And then there was another one in terms of the tip ball that Angus Bell gives for the very first try in the 42nd minute, and they just took their opportunities. So. And what that did, then it led to South Africa not going back to how they were able to set up that first 17 minutes. The contestable games with Grant Williams, they were really good in and around that first 17 minutes, getting contestables back. And what do? They only kicked 6 times in that second half, where they kicked 12. Now, that's a low number with the South African team, but it's what we've seen in the first part of this year, and this kind of new evolution of attack that they do have. So, yeah, I think just the efficiency of when they had their opportunities, the Australians took it. And so I agree with the stats. It's just they took the opportunities and would score tries.
But it's even like they just didn't go away from the plan. Like Harry Wilson goes on that tip ball early in the game and gets absolutely monstered. Like, I think it was Oosterhuizen and one of the loose forwards, and tip the height, drive, and then to go through that hole as they did after being monstered like that, rightly so, the South Africans thought, they must be going out the back. But then to read that, and I just think they just had their plan. They were so dialed in, their kick strategy, their courage on attack to try and get that bridge pass to Joel. And how much they drew the South African defenders in field to allow that. And then I think the last line of defence they'd be disappointed with. Like a couple of times defenders were beaten pretty easily. But yeah, it was just a courageous performance. And I don't mean it in a bad way when I say I can't work out how, but just to give you context, South Africa had 79% gain line, 75% lightning quick ball. They had 13 entry, like Australia had 16% dominant carries. Like, they didn't really, it was all off the back of defence and, manipulating that rush D. It's just, it's just amazing how clinical they could be after that 17 minutes, I suppose.
And I think if we're looking in terms of like South Africa, because all those stats there, the amount of ball that they had to be able to, ask a lot of questions of the Australians, it was the execution really at the end that really cost them. So they got into the 22-metre zone, or even, you look at Tom Wright's last try to when he wins the game, they're pretty much on the front foot going forward. And then it's just kind of a turnover, and then they score a try off that. So it was a common trend in that second half that they were able to have opportunities, but a lot of mistakes. Apart from that first 17 minutes where they were able to hold on to the ball, win collisions, been able to get over the advantage line, they were able to execute at a better rate in that first 17 minutes. But the unforced errors was probably after that was tough.
And I mean, we have to acknowledge even though they had some struggles at scrum time, like they kept the South African line out to 68%. They did hold their own and come back really well at scrum time, which isn't a pretty important facet. It was just a gritty, absolutely gritty, determined win. Like almost the first 70 minutes didn't play into South Africa's hand because a lot of the errors that came in the 22 or further out was like, it's just going to happen. And they were chancing their own. Like the intercept, that was never on. Like Suoliti was in the line of sight, So I just think like maybe that they were just like, we're just going to run over the top of them and we will run away with it in the second half because of the altitude and so forth. But man, credit to them, led by Harry Wilson. I just was so impressed by his willingness to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And he must have some engine, man. To score that runaway try, he must be seriously fit.
Well, he doesn't look seriously athletic, does he? He's a big boy, and he got going, and I was like, are they going to catch him?
Yeah.
Are they?
He just had enough gas in the tank to be able to get over the line. But also, Joe, I thought Nick Frost as well. He's becoming one of the best, probably, line-out, not just line-out specialist, but I think the way that he does play with best locks in the world. Like, I've been very, very impressed, I think, defensively in the line-out, especially against a South African line-out. But I've been really impressed with how he's been going this year as well.
Look, he's been strong. I think the big question mark, and they've got Skelton now, it's just when Skelton goes, they're a good 1-2 punch, and how they utilise each other. He is going to leave a fairly big hole, but we'll deal with that in coming weeks. But look, this is going to give them confidence. It's just how they keep that momentum going.
But I think South Africa are going to come back with a bite. I think with Rassie, that group, you've seen kind of Chase of the Sun, how he motivates that group, and
I think
they'll be hurting. I
think we'll see the front line. We will get an idea of who he sees as the front line 23.
Because
conversations over in terms of 3 deep and all this. Like I think this week we will see what he thinks is their best side.
Because I even think after the interview of the game, they pretty much penciled in a team that they already named to play that following week. But then they've obviously said, we're going to have a little talk about it now collectively as a coaching group. To your point, Jup, I think we're going to see the best 23, a 6-2 split or even a 7-1.
Well, I mean, he referred to the fact that they had been out-coached, that they had gotten their own way and that they need to look at themselves before they look at the players because of the way that played out. I mean, that team came out on Monday, South Africa time. Like, teams are not named on a Monday. Teams are named in South Africa sometimes on a Tuesday. In New Zealand, they're named on a Thursday. It was a surprise to be like, hey, that's a confident thing to do, to throw a team out there on a Monday.
When I heard it as well that they knew before going into the game who was playing next week. Like, for me as a player, I'm thinking like, well, it doesn't matter how good I play, I'm not going to be playing next week. But obviously depending, do they might change it on the run? I don't know. But I was really interested to hear from Rassie around they'd already picked the team for the following week,
I think
even before the game.
Almost have done it for the whole rugby championship.
It's obviously not something different.
What they do.
But they've over-revealed their hand to a degree there. It was interesting.
Well, Joe Schmidt is one of the smartest coaches in the world. I think this is his biggest coaching achievement. Like in terms of where the Wallabies were in the world rankings, how everyone expected them to go in the Lions, how everyone expected them to go in South Africa. Like he was amazing with Ireland and what he achieved there, and got them to world number 1. To me, this is a much bigger climb.
On the other hand, I think the thing that pointed out to me that I noticed that was just crazy was at the end, that 50-22 in the last minute or so said to me that the South Africans had just buttoned off. Like, it wasn't there. Like, that 50-22 was...
Well, they knew it was gone.
It was gone, and they turned off, and I think that's what has Rassie so pissed. Not that particular moment, but moments like that where it was pretty clear that they put their heads down and they weren't playing for what they usually talk about playing for. You mentioned Chasing the Sun. Well, you've seen that speech in Chasing the Sun where he says, will you die for your country? You will not die for your country. They weren't dying for their country on
well, that's why I mentioned the intercept. Like, you don't throw that pass. They would... I think because of the start, they were a little bit careless. And then when the game turned, they were like, holy dooly, like, we're not going to chase this down. Like, the missed tackles, like, Jorgensen just went like that. Like, I mean, he'd do it to me, I get it. Like, but
Tom Wright's try?
Tom Wright's try. Like, these guys, they're the best in the world. They don't miss tackles like that.
I'll be very interested to see if they're going to keep this DNA of being able to hold on to the ball and being able to build pressure and build phases like we've seen with the attacking stats, or going back to more of a little bit conservative.
Say hello to
And Boks
Pollard
kicks.
this week. And
So it's, I think,
fair thing.
I even think he talked, Rassie talked about it, they actually felt they didn't kick a lot. Like the stat that I talked about, 6 kicks in the second half.
Yeah.
I think they might be feeling that they played a little bit too much. So whether we go to an aerial game off Grant Williams, who did very well, or they go back to that kind of contestable game, which they've been very, very good at.